And we're going to present to you the platform that we've developed over the last year or so, and very, very recently launched, and in particular to tell you all about a special part of the platform, which is called the Campus Radar Cafe. So first of all, just a little bit about us, and we've got that same thing. Where can we go? Hang on a second. Can you share? I think we're just trying to get the slides to share. Get off that first page.
Are you in presentation mode?
Yep.
If in doubt, get out and go back in again.
Well, there we go.
Okay, here we go. Yay. All right, so here we are. So this is the platform, and Jayden and I have developed it. And so we both have been in academia for quite a long time. I started my academic career in Otago University in Dunedin in New Zealand, and then moved across to do my postdoc at UQ. And worked in academia for about 20 years, lecturing and doing all those things, and having PhD students in my lab and postdocs, etc. Had a good career, published and did all those things, got grants, and then sort of got to the stage where my children were more demanding, I guess, and needed a lot more of my time. So I also had some issues with health, and basically needed a bit more flexibility and not spend my summers writing grants. Not that I want to put you off an academic career, but so I looked for something different, and I went into headhunting essentially for universities, and mostly at the executive level. So doing search, it's called, so not recruitment, but actually going out and searching for people into, say, DVC roles and professor roles across different disciplines, and presenting them to the universities and taking them right through to their actual appointment. So Jayden, he's a bit younger, but still in academia.
Yeah.
He's been joining me for a little while now, and he can tell you a little bit about his background.
Yeah, g'day everyone. Yeah, so as Catherine mentioned, I've been in academia for probably the past 15 plus years. I have my own lab here at QUT. I'm a stem cell biologist. You might have seen me around. I'm also the ALPR for the HDR cohort in the biomed school here at QUT. But I've learned, a number of lessons during my academic career in terms of, finding different positions, lecturing and mentoring PhD students and postdocs. And there's always a common theme in terms of identifying the right positions, whether it be you're a HDR student coming towards graduation or you're an ECR researcher looking for the right job. And this is where Catherine and I believe we can use our expertise in academia to really create a platform for you all to become involved at really any stage in your career, whether it be also professional or academia, and really identifying the right position. And that position might be here at QUT, or it could be at UQ, or really anywhere else in the world. And we're really trying to create a platform here that will have global reach. Yeah.
Yep. So hopefully you're convinced that we've been there just like you are at your stage of your careers right now. And we know how hard it is and the trials of tribulations of getting started, basically, and starting to really build your own career, your own track record, and your own story in terms of your employment. So just quickly, why did we actually build Campus Radar?
Can't see the presentation.
Just need to make sure that you've shared your screen with the presentation.
You'll have to go back and share screen.
Got it?
Yeah.
Sorry, we just had an intermission of trying to, we've lost the screen. So
That's perfect.
here we are.
That's us.
Okay, so just quickly, so why do we actually build Campus Radar? So basically we wanted to have a point where all of recruitment, so higher education jobs, events, also showcasing institutions, but also you guys, the HDRs and ECRs, to have a place where you can go that you know you can look for higher education jobs only, but also be able to apply and look to see what other people are doing at least your level in higher education. So we wanted it for right here in Australia, but particularly around Australia, New Zealand, the Pacific region, and Southeast Asia, because there's other recruitment platforms in the UK, especially in the US, but they are Europe-centric and higher North American-centric, and there's nothing really like it in Australia. So we set about setting up the site that we can have a much more dedicated higher education site in our corner of the world. So basically we post ads, we post events, and we promote the actual institutions. And the ads, we not only post them, but we also make an audience out of our huge database essentially, but also an up-to-date database to be able to send those ads directly to potential candidates. So we're really after quality candidates who are actually the right people to apply, and hopefully right from the start, somebody that could potentially be appointed to a role, rather than putting it out onto, dare I say, Seek and LinkedIn, where generally you end up with lots of candidates apply, which is great, but they're generally nothing to do with the job that you've put up. And of course, creating decent ads, so lots of information for candidates applying, have the information such as, sites in the area, local schools, real estate even, and of course, what the whole institution is about. So lots of ways to present a much more comprehensive ad for anybody who's looking. So here's some examples. The top part there is some of the institution profiles that are already up there, events that can be posted, and lots of jobs have been put up across different universities, but this just gives you an idea of what they look like. So we have had some postdoctoral fellowships come up, and they're really hard, and they're always hard to be able to fill. And clearly, as you know, you guys are the heart and soul of a university. You're why universities actually exist, and that is to train you to be job ready. So give you the expertise to be able to go out, not just in academia, beyond academia, obviously, and find a job in the area that you've hopefully studied in as well. So when it comes to recruitment, you guys don't always fit the mold in terms of that standard post an ad, find a postdoc and appoint them to a role somewhere in a university. So why so complex? You're really hard to find. So you're obviously working very, very niche topics. So as you go through your career, if you stay in academia, your niche career kind of becomes less niche, much more broad. And you finish your PhDs, your masters, etc., often at all different times. So you're not necessarily going to be in that 30-day period when a recruitment person at a university puts an ad up. And you're often not listed on university sites either. Sometimes you are if you've got a pretty cool website for your lab or your team, but generally you're really hard to find. You may go through your career, your undergrad and postgrad, being able to get to conferences, hopefully nationally and internationally, but obviously the last 2 years have been a bit of a dampener in terms of being able to travel for those. You've given hopefully seminars into your schools, and hopefully also maybe done a 3-minute thesis every now and again. But generally, getting yourself out there is pretty limited. And then when you do finish and leave university, then if you've got a great team and a great supervisor who has kept in touch with you and is interested in seeing what you do after you've done your master's or your PhD or your postdoc, that's great and looking out for you, but that's not always the case, unfortunately. And unlike you, QUT, you've got great people like Karen who can provide excellent mentoring and giving you some direction as to what you could do and open up that whole world essentially as to how you can actually find your next step in your career. And the other simple thing is that you're often being given a student email when you're at university, and you don't have that anymore when you leave. So again, you drop off the radar literally quite easily. And then with actual recruitment and putting job ads up for a postdoc, for instance, as I said earlier, they might only post them, the universities at least, for 30 days. And so they're hoping you might see that within that 30 days and actually apply. So generally, you're not necessarily looking for ads to go and find a job. It's usually word of mouth or somebody you met at a conference or someone your supervisor has recommended or someone who's worked in the similar area and they look cool to go and find a job, etc. Or get out and go into the professional world, the commercial world, etc., and find your career that way. So that's essentially why we set up the cafe. So a place that you can go to, you can show yourself all your skills, all your track record, or you might just want to post your latest paper, or just want to share where you're at and what you would actually like in a career, and therefore what you might be looking for in a job. So it's a pretty simple idea, but at the same time, as far as we know, nothing really exists like it. Each university sometimes has a little bit that might have a similar option to have, but generally we wanted it for all of Australian postgraduates and eventually open it up around the world as well. But anybody can put up an article on the Campus Radar Cafe at the moment. So obviously a place where higher education community can come to, a go-to site for both employers to come and see what's out there, just even to find new information, see what the latest research is, what you're doing, create a real strong online presence for yourself. So you're always there. So you don't have to go looking. You can search for other people. You can search for different disciplines. You can find out what's going on in other people's labs and hopefully even inspire undergrads as well to come and join your labs or your teams, etc. It's an easy way to keep in touch. You can keep your own credentials up to date and your emails, etc. And hopefully just becomes a great place to be discovered. And of course, the cafe is open 24/7 and hopefully you can find jobs. So it's completely free. It's not a complex template or anything like that. You can post whatever you like. You can indicate your availability for work, and that comes up as a little logo here that say you're available for work. You can choose to show your whole background profile that you set up, and we'll show you that in a sec. You can also choose to have likes and also choose if you want to have comments on your post as well. So it's totally up to you how you actually set it up. So we'll take you through this shortly as well, but basically, that's an idea of what you could do. You can share the article as well on social media, and basically just a short profile, or at least a short article. So around about 800 words. We don't want a whole CV or a whole, paper or anything like that. It's just a snapshot of who you are, where you're at, or even just a snapshot of a paper that you've written, or something like that. So basically, as I just said, it could be about a research project. You might have just been awarded your master's or your PhD. So tell us about your thesis. Maybe you just want to convert your 3-minute thesis and put that up, and tell people about your latest paper or a talk that you've just done. A good pitch about the skills that you have and what you're looking for in your next role. Or you might be the gun at a new technique and you're keen to promote that. So basically get on the radar is what we're saying today. And anytime you can get in touch with us. And if you have any questions, any issues with logging in and that sort of thing, we're available anytime. So just quickly switch you over to a new site and we'll get you onto Campus Radar. So here's the website if you haven't had a quick look. So you can post ads and the institution profiles. You can search for jobs by category, special postdoctoral and student category, and post articles in the cafe. And as you can tell, we've just opened, so not many up there, but hopefully after today, it'll be starting to fill up nicely. So, and then last on there, we've got events that are coming up as well. So all you have to do is create a profile. So you would log in on the right-hand side. There'll be a candidate login to create. And then you can set up your own profile. So we've set it up to be really brief. So not to provide lots and lots of information when you're applying for a job. So that was the whole point of the profile in terms of setting up the candidate or you. So that means that at the minimum, you just need these first two sections. So the first one, just your background, your basic details, including your citizenship. If you're an Australian, then you can also choose your language group, nation or country. And then if you're a New Zealander, you can choose your iwi, or you can choose not selected or not stated if you don't fall into one of those language groups. A brief biography. You don't even have to write anything there, just as long as you put a letter at least, that's fine. Save it. And then the other thing that we require when you first set up is just your current position. So you can just put that in there and save. So as soon as you've got those two sections filled, then you can apply for a job. So you can save jobs. You can also set up alerts to receive jobs in any sector or discipline, country, etc. that you want. You can determine or decide how often you want those alerts sent to you. You can have cafe articles sent to you as well, and events. And you can, for your saved jobs, you can also send a reminder, get a reminder sent to you 3 days before the closing date of your saved or favorite jobs, so you don't miss a deadline. And importantly, your candidate profile is not visible. So when you set up your profile, it's not seen at all until people like you, the postgrads, can write an article. Then they only see your article, but you can decide, and we'll show you in a sec, as to whether people can see and go in and find your profile and read your profile as well. If you're applying for a job, you can also allow employers to view your profile, but only after you've actually applied for their job. So by default, your profile is invisible. You can't go in there and just look at everyone's profiles. Okay, so to set up an article, you can see there's a couple here. You just have to tap on create an article. Write in the title, what type of student you are, main discipline. If there's a discipline that you're in that's not here, just drop us a line and we'll add it in for you, and say which institution you're affiliated with. So if you've already left QUT, you can still be affiliated with it as an alumni, etc. Upload a photo. Generally a landscape photo is the best to put into the space. And then just an open template as to how you want to present and what you want to present in the content. And here, set up your preferences. So as I said before, allow comments, allow likes, show if you're available for new opportunities. You don't have to have any of these on if you don't want to. You just might like to share a paper or something like that. And then if you want to allow registered users to view your profile. So that means people that actually already got a profile and been registered on Campus Radar can view your profile. So again, that's not the general public. Save it and preview it, and then you can, once you're ready, you can post your article. So you can go in and edit it anytime. You can view it by clicking on the eye, or you can go in and edit it at any time as well. Or you might want to take it down. So if you want to take it down, just click on there and it'll come down straight away. And then if you click again, you can put it back up straight away as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it. As say, your matching jobs, when you put up your preferences, will turn up in here. Your saved jobs are the ones that you've liked and favorited, and they come into here. And then once they're turned up in here, they're the ones you can apply for. And where you go, and anything that you apply for, I haven't applied for any jobs, but they'll always all be listed here. So you can keep a track of the jobs that you've applied for on Campus Radar as well.
Yeah, well, and I'll just add to this too. I guess the excitement here from QUT's perspective is this is really the first opportunity where we're going out to institutions now to, share this with the HDR cohorts, and QUT is the very first. And so this was only been recently launched in terms of going live in the past couple of months. We've had great response in terms of the number of profiles that have already been created on the website. And I think to Catherine's point, this has global reach already. We've got people creating profiles in a number of different countries, which is already fantastic.
Yep, 71.
71 countries, there you go, in a very short period of time. But I think what's important here is as you're a HDR student at QUT, probably coming towards graduation or at least in the next 12 months, having a profile here, creating a platform for you to talk about the research that you're doing in a short format that allows to share your work to others with a global reach, I think is incredibly important for your career development, but also identifying the right job that you want to get in higher education. And so this is an amazing opportunity for QUT students to be involved as an alumni community. And what we're hoping for is today, a number of you will create your own profiles, and over the next few weeks begin to populate those with these articles as shown by Catherine in the cafe. And really what we want to see is a community of QUT graduates growing. And that's really going to be powerful for the university, but also for your own career and identifying other QUT graduates and alumni, which really isn't available. And trust me, I know there isn't a community available like that, and this is exactly why we're creating this platform.
And lab heads, professionals, so not just universities, but outside industry will also be able to come to the site and see that you're looking for a job or even not looking a job, and still want to tap you on the shoulder and connect with you. So it's not limited to only universities being able to see you. The whole world can see you. It's a global platform. So as Jayton said, more than 70 countries are already coming to the site, and so they'll be able to read all about you, and hopefully you'll get picked up on the radar, and that'll be really cool to be your next step in your career. And if you do, we'd love to hear about it as well, and share your success, and also to help others to realize that it's a good platform to be seen, be visible, and be found.
And I think too, that the cafe is only just being launched, so it's in written format at the moment. But we've certainly had discussions about maybe being able to put short form videos up there. That's something we might be implementing early in 2023. So keep an eye. Once you've created a profile, you'll be able to come back and have a look at new updates, new jobs, new institutions that have been put up on board, and then of course adding to your profile all the time. And Catherine made a point, it doesn't need to be a publication. You might be an expert in a technique that you've developed, and you post it on Campus Radar Jobs, and then all of a sudden a group in the UK or in the US might go, hey, that is a fantastic technique that hasn't been developed for very long. Joe Blogs has got the expertise here. They've got a profile on Campus Radar Jobs, and we found them. hey, why don't you come and work for us in our particular lab? So it's about being able to share that information that you would not necessarily be able to. Yeah.
You can paste in links. So if you've got a YouTube link or Vimeo or whatever, you can actually just paste it into the body of your biography on your article, and be able to link to videos, etc., like that as well. Yeah, but we're definitely open to ideas all the time. So we're constantly tweaking it and making it better and better and better. And the feedback is that we get is the most valuable from you, and being able to meet the ideas and demands that you want on Campus Radar and in the cafe as well.
Great. All right. Well, I think we're going to be opening it to a Q&A session. So if there are any questions, I think, Karen, you're going to be facilitating this. I don't think you want to go to
The slide. Yeah.
Actually, Marcelo has already asked a question, which is, will you guys be promoting career events and fairs as well, so that they'll get notifications?
Sorry, you might want to repeat the question again.
So he's asked whether you'll be promoting careers fairs through your platform in the events. How do they get listed, I guess?
So how did they get listed?
Yes, so are you open to careers fairs being listed? How would a student know what kind of events?
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yes. So any event can be listed on Campus Radar. So as long as it's a higher education event. So yes, anything like that can be posted. So hopefully Karen can post, like she's got up there when the next sprint is, or the next careers event is for you. Yes, we can certainly use that as a channel to advertise your events that are coming up as well. So another thing I should add is when you do post cafe articles, so say if you are affiliated with QUT, then your article will get presented as itself alone, and then it'll also get listed in the QUT institution profile. So QUT will start to build up a really nice community of all of you within their profile as well.
Yeah.
Jennifer's had some trouble signing up.
Oh.
It wouldn't accept any of the passwords, but they included numbers, letters, special characters, and were over 8 characters long. Is there a quick troubleshoot?
Sometimes there may be special characters that you can't have. Sometimes those are full stops and dashes. So often they don't get accepted. So it should be working perfectly.
Yeah.
And if you have already logged in and you can't remember your password, you can just say you've forgotten your password and create another one.
Yeah.
Marcelo's asking another one.
Yep.
Is there an app that we can sign up via phone?
The website is responsive on apps, so you can scroll, cafe articles and the ads, etc. I originally started building the app. I learned to code during COVID, and that was actually how I started. Was building an app to do this. But it soon became apparent that it was best to start with a website to have the full features of what was required. But it is something that we're definitely thinking about doing, down the track, having both an iOS and a Google app, Android app, associated with Campus Radar. So the functionality should be all there anyway in terms of being responsive on a device. Another one?
Public health isn't listed under a primary discipline. Is
That's it.
population health considered equal?
There might be allied health, but I'll make a note
Yeah.
right now.
We can add it in public health straight away.
We'll add public health. I'll
Yeah.
do that as soon as I'm out of here.
And then that's a great suggestion straight away, you know.
Yeah,
i-
really good.
If you identify that there are, you know, little niche topics that in each of these drop down boxes that are missing,
Yeah.
please get in touch and we will add those.
Yeah, and if there's a particular thing that you would love to have in your profile as well, that you really want to show off and you think it might need a separate heading or something like that, yeah, definitely tell us about that, because we can easily modify it. And
Yeah.
and if you're thinking about it, then there's bound to be other people thinking about it as well.
Yeah. Great questions though.
Yeah, really, really good questions. But you can write as many articles as you want as well. So it's not limited to just one.
Yeah.
You can put up as many as you like. It's totally free. Yeah, hopefully you can encourage lots of other people to do so as well. So you don't just have to be an early, you know, like just out of your master's or your PhD. You could be an early career researcher, right through. But we really wanted to be a special space just for, you know, up to ECRs basically. So we're not opening it up at the moment, at least for professors or anybody like that. This is your own special place to showcase yourself.
And it's a bit different to social media too, right, Catherine? This is not really social media. This is, you know, a professional careers page where, you know, you really are trying to sell yourself to get that right job.
Yeah, and whilst there's the option to put likes and comments, we're going to be monitoring that pretty closely to make sure, you know, that they're good comments and a chance to set up a bit of a dialogue between people. But if that gets, you know, maybe out of hand, we'll see. But hopefully people will stick with why it's there. But yeah, if people don't like having the likes and the comments there, then obviously you can turn them off and not have them there in the first place. But eventually we may even take them right down. So as Jayden said, we want it to be a professional site just for you guys, not this. We don't want it to become a blog, and we don't want it to become like a, you know, like Twitter or something like that. We want it to be about you, about your research, about your career.
Will sessional academic roles also be advertised?
What was that, sorry?
Sessional academic roles.
Early ones, yes. So, well, sessional right through, yes, for in terms of the Campus Radar jobs, yes, any campus job. So that's why we purposely called it campus. So any job across the university can be posted on Campus Radar jobs.
Yeah, it's not limited to academic positions. It's also professional roles too.
Yeah, and on that point too, for things like postdoc fellows, you know, as I said before, scholarships, you know, to catch you at the right time is really hard. So I'm actually putting it out there at the moment to the various university recruitment officers to be able to give them the option to post an open-ended ad. So say a postdoc ad might go up and stay up there until they're happy that they've got enough candidates or it's been filled, etc., rather than just going, okay, 30 days and hopefully, you know, PhD students will see it. Yeah, so that's another thing too that we're hoping to have very soon, and hopefully the universities will be open to that and make it a lot easier for you guys to actually see the ads in the first place and have a chance to apply.
Legion has asked, are we allowed to select multiple options under sector?
At the moment, no, mostly because of the way we've designed it to try and you know, be able to search for you in terms of discipline, how you are found and how you're will basically search when you want to group different disciplines, etc., and see what cafe articles or events or jobs, etc., are in a certain discipline. So saying that, that's why there's the keyword section. So you can choose lots of disciplines in there. You can write any keywords you want in there. So hopefully it's right at the top, but right at the top of your profile, but at the same time, hopefully you'll be able to advertise that you're actually working across multiple disciplines. And obviously you can write about that in your article as well if you want to.
Catherine, so Moody's asked a really important question. Is the purpose of the main language to distinguish those whose native language is English for job purposes, or to see if the candidate is fluent in English? They're asking to understand how best to present themselves.
Yeah, so set it up as primary language. So we actually did have the option to put several languages in. So if that's what you'd prefer, we can certainly bring that back in. So that's a really good question, one we've already grappled with. But if you can, it's your primary language. So if your primary language is Mandarin, then put that in, and then obviously explain if it's to an English speaking job ad that you speak fluent English as well. So there's opportunity to do that when you actually apply for a job, but it's really important that, yes, if you would prefer to have the option put in 2, 3, 4 languages, not just English or Mandarin or whatever, then we can definitely bring that back in as well. I'll make a note.
And as an update, Jennifer's been able
Oh, cool.
to access it. So yes, maybe one of the.
Was it a
special
full stop?
characters.
one of the special characters. Yeah, that's great. But we're glad we could help you out so quickly, and well done for figuring it out as well. And because some computers or some search engines, automatically generate a password as well. And as I'm sure you know, on various sites, sometimes they're not conducive to the rules that get set up for each one.
Maybe, I don't know if you mentioned, Catherine, too, if you create a profile and you add a Campus Cafe article there, you can also share that article on your own social media platforms if you wish.
Yeah.
So that there's an avenue then for yourself to be able to, share your Campus Radar article, and that can even bring in new people into the platform also. Yeah.
So on that too, something that Karen's asked us about is whether the profile that you set up, putting in your qualifications and your employment and all that sort of thing, whether you can use that as your CV. At the moment, we've set it up as a profile, as a snapshot of you. We weren't intending it to be a CV. And the reasons for that is that when you apply for a job, and often you apply for lots of jobs, each one requires a new CV. And I've seen it lots of times with professors. They put in, the CV that they've been putting in for lots of jobs, or a cover letter, or whatever it might be, and they've addressed it to the wrong person, completely wrong university, all sorts of issues. And as soon as the selection panel sees that, and they just go, no, no matter who they are, they just go, no. So it's primarily to not have that error creep in, and for you to be kind of forced to keep your application material up to date, including your CV, and making sure you sort of go through that extra step of thinking about, have I got the right CV and the right cover letter that I'm uploading for my job. But we could do it down the track. We've just been chatting about that as well. So we have been thinking about possibly having a slightly different section that you can craft your CV that uses your profile, if you like, to craft your CV, and then download that separately to your actual profile. So you're keeping them separate but using your profile to keep yourself up to date. That'll get, you know, transferred into your CV. Yeah.
It is a common question when people say, but I've had to put my CV on LinkedIn, I've had to put it into these other university websites, I've had to include it at on-campus radar as well. How contained is this? What about privacy concerns?
Yeah, so that's exactly why it's not a CV. It's just, you only have to fill in those first 2 sections of your profile. So we're not sort of making it look like you can put in your whole CV. You can't. There's nowhere to put in your papers, for instance. You can put in a link to ORCID. Again, it's automatically updated. You don't have to do that. But the website is built on a whole, secure server, external to us. It's a professional server, a safe server, and the information that you put in is what's getting stored, encrypted. So your information is not held by each university or anything like that. It's stored within your sort of container on the server. So we've got all the secure features that's required, but also the server does as well. And yeah, you can put in whatever you want, basically. It's up to you. If you want to put in, the wrong phone number, it's totally up to you. We're not concerned. It's whether you want to be contacted or not via that, if someone does want to get in touch. But as I said, those other steps prior, in terms of only people that have got a candidate profile, so trying to make it sort of as dedicated to higher education as possible, can see your profiles, and again, only if you allow it to actually be open on your cafe article. But otherwise, no one can see your profile unless you apply for a job and allow that employer to see it.
I think as risk-averse researchers, that's a really important one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that is another reason why we didn't want to say, okay, upload your whole CV and things like that. It's not that sort of site at all. There's nowhere to upload your CV except when you apply for a job, and then it goes to the university that you've applied to or the institution that you applied to. Campus Radar will keep it for a short period of time until that position is filled. Same for the universities. So we're not holding applications. The universities will.
And ultimately, the resource of the website is to put you into a job. It's not our ethos here to collect all your personal data. What we want to do is we want to match your profile with your talent to the right job.
Yeah.
And then once the job has been identified, you then go and apply with the institution, fill out all the selection criteria, do all your interview process. But from our perspective, it's about identifying the position for you. And so that's really the key of this site.
Yeah. And more and more ads are going up. So it's early days. So we've actually just had a big push of ads go through. But as we're going to the end of the year at the moment, university recruitment slows right down, and then it'll pick up again early in the new year. So yeah, it's entirely up to you what you put on your personal profile.
But in saying that, even though the jobs might slow down, this is the time to put your profile and
get
yourself.
Absolutely, and set your preferences. You can set as many preferences as you want to. You don't have to just prefer only working in cell biology in Brisbane or Australia and at professorial level or whatever. You can put as many as you want and control when you want to receive the updates as well.
I think we're at the end of the question.
Cool.
Excellent.
If I can just ask you to put yourself on mute for a moment,
Mhm.
just to reduce the echo.
And then hopefully there'll only be one version of me speaking. But no. Okay, so can you still hear me? Can everyone hear what I'm saying? Can you hear?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, good. So just to finish off, there's a couple of advertisements that I would like to make. One is the slide that you see on your screen, which is the HDR Sprint. It's a 1 week full-time option in February next year, and we'd love for you to record your interest, let the industry team know. And as always, we are really keen to hear your feedback on all of our workshops, but this one in particular, because it's a brand new platform, it's certainly a brand new webinar that we're doing for you. We'd love to get your ideas on what worked for you and how we could make this better. Just take a photo of that screen and you will be sent straight to our feedback. It'll only take you a minute or two, but that's really important. I'm super keen, you've probably been able to tell that, about this platform. I think it's a really great opportunity and a bit of a balance to like a LinkedIn profile. Anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with LinkedIn and getting early career researchers onto LinkedIn to connect with their industry roles. This is another option to then connect with academic roles. So you are covering both of those opportunities essentially with one profile. So you can tag each profile as you go and just do a copy and paste if it's relevant off the two of them. If anyone would like their blog or their potential blog reviewed before you are brave enough to hit upload onto the Campus Radar site, you know who I am, you know where to find me. Email me with your blog, and if you're open to it, then I can give you some feedback on it and just let you know how effective that might be in spruiking your research, which I think is really important, not just your research employability skills, but your actual research to get that known. So use me as a sounding board. You are more than welcome to do that. I hope you found this workshop relevant and useful. Catherine and Jatin, I'm so pleased that you were able to come in and share with everybody. It's much better than having to listen to me every single time. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Karen.
Yeah,
It's been great. And thank you very much for the opportunity as well to connect with all of you out there. And as we say, and Karen said too, we'd love your feedback. We're open to any ideas that you would like for us to improve the site, because it's for you guys.
Yeah, and absolutely. And just to reiterate, you know, QUT is one of the, you know, first to be, you know, exposed to this. So as a HDR student and as ECRs, get involved.
Yeah.
And the earlier you get involved, the more likely it is that you're going to identify the right job.
You've got a head start. And, you know, if people are looking for, you know, wherever you're working in or what have you, then they'll be able to see it straight up. They won't have to go looking for you. And there's plenty of people looking already on Campus Radar. So it's pretty cool that you guys getting in first. It's a benefit for sure.
Absolutely. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn too, if you'd like.
Yeah, so people aren't coming to the site just to apply for jobs. So come and read the profiles just to hang out and, you know, have a coffee and see what research is going on at QUT or in your particular area. So, you know, it's not just a matter of drawing people in just to see the job ads. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure hosting you today, but it's also been lovely to see so many engaged people online. I will send this recording. If you've missed the beginning or you missed the end of this workshop, it will be sent through to you. So you'll have the whole thing with the help ready to go. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you again next time. Bye now.